If you are watching this, something in you already knows. Not because you searched for it, not because an algorithm placed it in front of you by accident, but because somewhere underneath the noise of your day, a quieter voice has been trying to get your attention, telling you that something feels unmanageable, that the ground beneath your feet isn't as solid as it used to be, that you are holding on to too many things at once and your hands are beginning to shake. I want you to know before anything else that this feeling is not a flaw in you. It is not proof that you are weak or broken or falling behind everyone else who seems to have their life together. This feeling, the sense that control is slipping through your fingers, is one of the oldest and most human experiences there is. Kings have felt it. Soldiers have felt it. Philosophers, the very people we now turn to for wisdom, felt it too, in rooms much like the one you're sitting in right now. Almost 2,000 years ago, a man sat alone at night, exhausted, writing to no one but himself. He was not writing for fame. He was not writing for an audience. He was the most powerful man in the known world, an emperor who commanded armies, who held the fate of nations in his hands, and yet in his private notebook, he wrote like a man drowning. He wrote about frustration, about people who disappointed him, about days that felt too heavy, decisions that felt too large, and a war that never seemed to end. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and what he discovered, page by page, night by night, is the same thing I want to offer you today. Control was never where you thought it was. That sentence might sound strange at first, maybe even unsettling, because right now, what you want is not a philosophical statement. You want your life back. You want to feel steady again. You want to stop feeling like you're one more bad moment away from falling apart. And I understand that. But stay with me, because this idea, as simple as it sounds, is the beginning of something that has helped people regain their footing for thousands of years, not by giving them more control over their circumstances, but by showing them where real control actually lives. Let's slow down for a moment. Let's actually look at what losing control means, because I think we misuse this phrase more than almost any other phrase in our language. When you say you feel like you're losing control, what are you actually describing? Is it the outcome of a decision you haven't made yet? Is it another person's behavior, their words, their silence, their unpredictability? Is it the uncertainty of a job, a diagnosis, a relationship, a future that refuses to reveal itself no matter how hard you stare at it? Is it your own mind, racing from one worst-case scenario to the next, refusing to rest even when your body is exhausted? Here is the uncomfortable truth the Stoics understood, and the truth I want you to sit with today. Almost none of what you are describing was ever within your control to begin with. Not because you failed to grip it tightly enough, not because you didn't try hard enough, plan carefully enough, or worry enough, but because it was never yours to hold in the first place. This is what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus called the dichotomy of control, the line that separates what is up to us from what is not. Epictetus was born into slavery. He understood, in a way that most of us never will, what it means to have almost nothing external under your command. Not your body, not your freedom, not your circumstances. And yet, from that position, stripped of nearly everything a person could hold on to, he built one of the most enduring philosophies of inner freedom the world has ever known. His teaching was this: some things are within our power. Our judgments, our intentions, our desires, our aversions, our responses. And some things are not within our power. Our bodies, our reputation, our possessions, other people, the outcomes of our efforts, the passage of time. the actions of the world around us. The mistake almost all of us make every single day is treating the second category as though it belongs to the first. We grip at outcomes as if gripping harder will change them. We rehearse conversations that haven't happened, trying to control how someone else will feel before they've even opened their mouth. We replay decisions from the past, trying retroactively to master something that has already been decided by time itself. And when reality inevitably refuses to bend to our grip because it was never built to be gripped, we call this losing control. But you cannot lose something you never had. What you are actually losing is the illusion, and painful as it is, losing an illusion is the first step towards something far more stable than control ever was: peace. I want to give you a modern example, because ancient philosophy can feel distant if we don't bring it into the textures of everyday life. Imagine you are waiting for the results of something important: a job offer, a medical test, an answer from someone you love. Every part of you wants to control the outcome. You check your phone constantly. You imagine every possible scenario. You try to calculate through sheer mental effort a way to influence something that has, in truth, already been decided somewhere outside of your reach. This is what losing control actually feels like, not the absence of an outcome, but the exhausting, endless attempt to manage something that was never within your hands. Now imagine a different response, not indifference. Stoicism was never about not caring, but a redirection of your energy. You acknowledge honestly, I have done what I can do. The outcome now belongs to time, to other people, to circumstances entirely outside my control. My task now is not to manufacture certainty where none exists. My task is to decide how I will carry myself while I wait, with steadiness or with self-destruction. This is not resignation. This is not giving up. This is precision. It is placing your energy exactly where it can do some good, instead of pouring it endlessly into a container that was never going to hold it. Let's talk about what actually belongs to you, because this is the part most people skip past too quickly, eager to feel better without doing the quieter work first. What belongs to you is your judgment, the meaning you assign to what happens to you. Two people can experience the exact same event: a canceled flight, a harsh email, a friend's silence, and walk away with completely different internal experiences because the event itself is neutral. It is the judgment layered on top of it that determines whether you feel devastated or simply inconvenienced. This doesn't mean you should pretend difficult things don't hurt. It means recognizing that a significant portion of your suffering comes not from the event itself, but from the story you immediately attach to it. A story about what it means, what it says about you, what it predicts about your future. What belongs to you is your response, not the first flash of emotion, which is often involuntary, but what you do in the seconds and minutes after that flash arrives. Do you feed it? Do you let it multiply, rehearsing it over and over until it becomes a storm? Or do you observe it, acknowledge it honestly, and then choose your next action independent of its intensity? What belongs to you is your attention, where you place your focus in any given hour of your life. This might be the most underrated form of control there is. You cannot control whether someone criticizes you, but you can control how much of your evening you spend replaying their words. You cannot control whether the future is uncertain, but you can control whether you spend today fully present in it or lost somewhere in a version of tomorrow that hasn't happened yet and may never happen at all. And what belongs to you, above all, is your character, the kind of person you choose to be, regardless of what is happening around you. This is the deepest form of control because it cannot be taken from you by any external force. Circumstances can take your comfort, they can take your certainty, they can even take people and things you love, but they cannot take the part of you that decides, moment by moment, who you will be in response. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself constantly about this distinction because even an emperor, someone who by every external measure had more power than almost anyone alive, understood that true power was not in his throne. It was not in his armies. It was in the quiet, private decision he made each morning about the kind of man he would be that day. Regardless of what the day brought him, he wrote about waking early to face people who would be ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, envious, and reminding himself before his feet even touched the floor that none of this was a surprise and none of it was his to control. What he could control was whether he met it with steadiness or with the same disorder he was surrounded by. I want you to notice something important here. This philosophy is not about suppressing your feelings. It is not about pretending that pain doesn't hurt, that fear isn't real, that loss doesn't ache in ways that words can barely describe. The Stoics were not emotionless statues. That is a modern misreading of their work. They were, in fact, deeply attuned to human suffering, precisely because they had experienced so much of it themselves. What they offer is not the elimination of feeling, but a way of relating to feeling that doesn't leave you shattered by things that were never within your grasp to begin with. So let's bring this back to you right now, in this moment, watching this video, because something in your life currently feels like it's slipping. I want you to do something simple, not complicated, not demanding, just honest. I want you to name quietly in your own mind the specific thing that feels like it's spinning out of control. Maybe it's a relationship that feels uncertain. Maybe it's a decision you haven't made yet, sitting on your chest like a weight. Maybe it's your own mind, which hasn't been quiet in longer than you can remember. Whatever it is, name it honestly, without minimizing it and without exaggerating it. Now ask yourself this question, the same question Epictetus asked nearly 2,000 years ago. Is this within my power, or is it not? If it is within your power, if there is an action you can genuinely take, a conversation you can have, a boundary you can set, a decision you can finally make, then the path forward is clear, even if it isn't easy. Take the action. Not because it guarantees the outcome you want, but because it is the honest use of the only real power you have. But if it is not within your power, if it depends on another person's choices, on time, on circumstances entirely outside your reach, then the most powerful thing you can do is something that will feel, at first, deeply uncomfortable. Let go of the illusion that gripping harder will change anything. This is not weakness. This is precision. This is directing your limited energy toward the only place it can actually make a difference. Your own judgment, your own response, your own character, instead of pouring it endlessly into something that was never yours to hold. I want to offer you something practical now, something you can actually carry with you after this video ends, because insight without practice fades by morning. Marcus Aurelius had a habit that carried him through decades of war, loss, betrayal, and exhaustion. Each night, or sometimes each morning, he would sit with himself, not to judge himself harshly, but to review the day honestly. What happened today that disturbed my peace? Was it something within my control, or something I mistakenly tried to control? How did I respond? Was my response guided by clear judgment, or was it hijacked by fear, anger, or the desire to control what was never mine to control. This is not about self-punishment. It is about self-awareness, a quiet, honest accounting that over time retrains the mind to notice the difference between what deserves your energy and what is simply noise disguised as urgency. I want you to try something small tonight, or even right now if you have a moment of stillness available to you. Take 3 things currently weighing on you, 3 sources of the feeling that you're losing control. Write them down or simply hold them in your mind if writing isn't available to you right now. For each one, ask honestly, is this within my power? If the answer is yes, identify one small, concrete action you can take, not a guarantee of the outcome, but an honest use of your effort. If the answer is no, practice saying to yourself, plainly and without drama, this is not mine to control. My task now is to carry myself well regardless of how this unfolds. This single practice, repeated daily, is not a quick fix. I won't pretend to you that watching one video will dissolve years of anxious gripping in a single sitting. But this is how the Stoics built resilience, not through sudden transformation, but through small, repeated acts of honest reflection performed with patience over months and years. Marcus Aurelius did not become steady overnight. He became steady one difficult night at a time, one honest journal entry at a time, one reminder at a time that control was never where he thought it was. There is something else I want to leave you with, something that goes slightly deeper than technique. The reason losing the illusion of control feels so frightening is that somewhere along the way, most of us came to believe that control equals safety. If I can just control this outcome, this person, this uncertainty, then I will finally feel safe. But this belief, however natural it feels, is precisely what keeps so many people trapped in exhausting cycles of anxiety. Because the truth is, you were never actually safe in the way you imagined. No one is. Certainty was always, to some degree, an illusion we constructed to make an unpredictable world feel bearable. What the Stoics offer instead is a different foundation for safety, not the elimination of uncertainty, but the cultivation of a self that can meet uncertainty without being destroyed by it. This is a subtle but profound shift. You stop asking, how can I control this so that I feel safe? And start asking, who do I need to become so that I can be steady regardless of what happens? The first question keeps you exhausted, chasing a certainty that will never fully arrive. The second question builds something durable inside you, something that no external circumstance, however chaotic, can fully take away. I think this is why Marcus Aurelius's private writings still speak to people today, nearly 2,000 years later, across cultures and languages he never could have imagined reaching. Not because he solved uncertainty, he didn't. His empire faced plague, war, betrayal, and loss for almost his entire reign. He never achieved the kind of external control that would have made his life easy. What he achieved instead was an internal steadiness that let him function, lead, and even find moments of peace in the middle of conditions that would have broken most people. That steadiness is available to you too, not because your circumstances will suddenly become simple, but because you are capable of building the same internal foundation he built, one honest reflection at a time. So if you came to this video feeling like you're losing control, I want to leave you with this reframe, gently but firmly. You are not losing control. You are losing the illusion that control was ever fully yours. And underneath that illusion, once it clears, is something more solid than control ever was. The part of you that decides, no matter what happens, who you will choose to be. Take a slow breath before you close this video. Not to fix anything, not to force calm, just to remind your body that in this exact moment, right now, you are not in danger. Whatever weighs on you can wait a few more seconds while you simply breathe, present, undistracted by the future or the past. Tonight or tomorrow morning, try the small practice we spoke about. Name what's weighing on you. Ask honestly whether it belongs to you or not. And wherever it doesn't belong to you, practice gently, patiently, without judgment for how hard it feels at first, letting your grip loosen just slightly on something that was never yours to hold. This is not the end of difficulty. Marcus Aurelius never escaped difficulty, and neither will you. But it is the beginning of something steadier than control, a quiet, internal ground that stays solid even when everything around you refuses to. If this found you at the right moment, let it settle. There is no need to rush back into the noise the second this ends. Sit for a moment longer than usual. Let the quiet do what it does best. You are not losing control. You are finding out, perhaps for the first time, where it actually lives.